Breaking news! Today, multiple major crises and security developments across the world are shaping global headlines, underscoring rising instability from domestic unrest to armed conflict and international tensions. In Iran, the country is witnessing what observers describe as the largest anti-regime protests in years. Demonstrations have erupted across major cities as citizens protest economic hardship, political repression, and rising living costs. In response, Iranian authorities imposed a nationwide internet blackout, severely restricting communication and access to information. Human rights groups report deadly clashes between protesters and security forces, with dozens killed, including minors. The unrest has renewed international attention on Iran's internal stability, as support for exiled opposition figures continues to grow. Meanwhile, in Eastern Europe, the Russia-Ukraine war has intensified. Russia launched another wave of missile and drone strikes, including advanced hypersonic weapons targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Power grids and heating systems in Kyiv and eastern regions were severely damaged, leaving thousands without electricity, water, and heat during winter conditions. Ukrainian officials condemned the attacks as deliberate energy terror, while European leaders warned the strikes risk deepening the humanitarian crisis and escalating the conflict further. In Western Europe, diplomacy took an unusual turn as France postponed the 2026 G7 summit to avoid overlapping with U.S. President Donald Trump's 85th birthday celebration, which is expected to include a high-profile UFC event at the White House. The decision has drawn attention across Europe, sparking debate about shifting diplomatic norms and the evolving relationship between the United States and its traditional allies. Tragedy continues to unfold in Switzerland, where the nation is mourning after a deadly nightclub fire in Crans, Montana, killed 40 people during New Year celebrations. Swiss authorities have declared a national day of mourning, while investigators arrested a co-owner of the venue on negligence charges. The disaster has prompted renewed scrutiny of safety regulations at public venues across the country. On the global stage, the United Nations has issued fresh warnings about escalating conflict hotspots worldwide, including Syria, South Sudan, and parts of Eastern Europe. The UN reports worsening humanitarian conditions, displacement, and interruptions to essential services, emphasizing the growing strain on international aid systems and peacekeeping efforts. In the United States, tensions are also rising after two separate shootings involving federal immigration agents. In Minneapolis, a 37-year-old woman was killed by an ICE agent during an enforcement operation, while in Portland, Oregon, two people were wounded during a Customs and Border Protection vehicle stop. The incidents have triggered nationwide protests, political backlash, and calls for independent investigations, intensifying debate over federal enforcement tactics and accountability. Together, these developments paint a picture of a world under pressure, marked by civil unrest, armed conflict, diplomatic strain, humanitarian emergencies, and growing public demand for accountability. Governments and international institutions now face increasing challenges as they attempt to balance security, human rights, and global stability in an increasingly volatile international environment. Reporting for Frontline Intel, Alex Mercer.